So around the time my daughter was 16, she came to me and my husband and announced that she was done with church. My initial reaction was fear, uncertainty, but my instinct was to honor her agency and respect her need to step away. Oh, I remember those first few weeks and even months feeling that emptiness in the pew that I could feel in my heart. And it was really hard sitting through like her peers' mission farewells and homecomings and recognizing that this would have been her trajectory had she stayed in church. And then I contrast that with the feelings I had last August 2024 when the trans policy was released. And believe it or not, there was an element of relief I felt at the fact that she wasn't going to have to try to fight for her right to attend church authentically. And that these weren't going to be applied to her. And I realized then that it's possible to be okay with my child stepping away from an institution that didn't feel safe for her. Recently, an apostle shared that the best thing a parent could do for a child who stepped away is to live their covenants so that that covenantal connection can have an influence on those children. Now, my experience has taught me to feel or hope for a different outcome. Honoring my child's choice to step away from the church and lean in with love and curiosity has been the best thing I could have done for our relationship. And it still feels like the most aligned with Christ's teachings to love without condition. Embarking on my parenting journey, had you asked me 23 years ago, I never would have thought I would feel relief at any of my kids not being in the pews next to me. But as I've journeyed on this path of having LGBTQ kids, I've grown in understanding and really see my role as a parent to honor agency and authenticity. Call it covenants, call it discipleship. I call it unconditional love. Now, I recognize that for some, they have chosen to stay engaged in church. And I think that it is wonderful that we have trans people in the pews so that people can engage and hopefully show curiosity enough to have hearts softened, minds changed. We know that proximity can really, really make an impact on people. So whatever your path is with your LGBTQ and particularly your trans loved ones, your engagement at church or choice to step away, I honor it. And I recognize this is complex. It's really hard. That policy from 2024 has been really hard for my family and figuring out how do we engage in church when sometimes it feels like we are being complicit in something that feels pretty dehumanizing for my trans daughter. So wanting to have compassion for this complexity, I wanted to share my experience and honor yours as we sit in this tension together, as we hope for better. And when we hear messages that maybe at one point would have felt like a beautiful promise, now feels like something we're not sure we would want for our child, I can say, I don't know that promise of your kid will come back to church is what I want to hear. What I would love is my child to thrive authentically. And I see that happening. And I'm so glad that I have honored her agency and continue to live what I hope is a Christ-like life.